we wanted to invite you to a pool party with mermaids. It's a mermaid tank. Mermaids will be the MCs at this party. And yes, mermaids are real. These are actors. They make their own fins and they do amazing things. This is Mermaid Tank. I'm going to pass our beach ball over to Nat.
Ooh, thanks, Amanda. So just to set up this idea a little bit, in our group's research, one of the insights that excited us the most was that we found that funders often care less about getting a financial return on their investment and more about building a meaningful relationship with an artist. But those connections are hard to make. And filmmakers frequently only have access to funders that are already inside of their networks that are often inherited through opportunity that comes with privilege, and that this means that the status quo often remains the same types of people having access to the same types of funders. So we wanted to create a place where funders and artists have an opportunity to meet one another, but we also wanted it to be fun because networking events can be very dry, but ours is a little bit more wet. Our research also showed that audiences are thirsty for films that are entertaining and inventive. We learned that a lot of audiences associate indie films with a more serious or myopic tone. So we wanted to make sure that right off the bat, we're creating an environment where fun and serendipity can flourish, which will hopefully come through in the types of projects that are born out of it. So Mermaid Tank is trying to seed projects that fall in the middle of this Venn diagram of films that explore important social issues and that are also imaginative, entertaining, and push the medium of film forward. So to tell you a little bit more about what will actually happen at this pool party, I'm going to pass the beach ball to Jessica.
Oh, thanks, Nat. Well, tell you a little bit about what's happening. So as Nat mentioned, one of the aspects of this event that's really important is that filmmakers and investors can actually develop these relationships. So we're starting everyone out with kind of a speed dating-esque activity where we're having people mingle and meet multiple people all at once. And we're also inviting our guests to kind of ask each other questions that have nothing to do necessarily with film or what they're working on, but just who they are as people. So one of the questions that we explored in our empathy interviews that was really insightful was, if you could be any character in a TV show, movie, or film, who would you be? And so we'll invite our guests to kind of just get to know each other more generally at first. And then after that, there are presentations where filmmakers can then pitch their ideas to the group as a whole. And they can also pitch who they are as a filmmaker. So maybe it's not just about this one particular project that they're working on, but what their body of work is and what that entails. And in order also to make sure that the films that we're kind of working on or the ideas being explored are also in alignment with the mission and goals of Mermaid Tank, there will also be themes for each pool party. So for example, one night might be climate change themed projects, or one night might be LGBTQIA themed projects. So that way we're kind of getting to focus on particular topics within the event. If you're familiar with Y Combinator, our model is a little bit like that. And something else I should mention is that we're also inviting first-time investors and filmmakers, so that even people who maybe are interested in becoming a patron of the arts but have never been able to explore that world before might be able to kind of get to know that arena through Mermaid Tank. So I'm going to pass the beach ball back to Amanda, and she's going to tell you a little bit more about some unique aspects of this event.
Thanks, Jessica. So as all of this stuff is going on and the mermaids are emceeing the event, there is a nonprofit school education system of students that are recording the event. And at the end of each time, they have about 3 months or so to produce a reality TV off of this, or a documentary style, whatever they decide to create. So we also have that's behind a paywall, so people can search online, find it, and donate whatever to view it in later on. And but while they're recording, it's a live stream to every social media website. So people at home can be a part of the event, and they can watch, they can upvote ideas, they can upvote relationships that they would love to see. They can also donate directly to people, ideas, films, and in all of that fun stuff. So it'll be very interactive online as well. I'm going to see who I pass this ball to. This beach ball is going back to Roy. Actually, I think this is Roy's first time. I'm just going to.
Yo, yo, yo. Hi, everyone. Thanks for listening to us. So just to correct something, our group's name is 666, and just want to make sure that's out there. So I'm just adding to everything that was said. Also, we'll talk about our model as well a little bit more. The problem is it's quite complex, and we are well aware that we're not able to solve it yet. And we're optimizing every few weeks, and we foresee that this will be further optimized as we move along, as technology changes, as filmmaking is slave of technology. So we see that the problem is pretty big, and it also includes the supply of talent, which is fueled by the schooling bubble, and the expanding entertainment ecosystem that has everyone's attention going everywhere. I guess, the classical music and the music genre has a very loyal customer and pays a lot, but it's a small portion of the market, and we see the independent film in that scale in this moment anyways. So instead of fighting in red oceans full of blood and with many other models that are trying to figure out, we wanted to look elsewhere. We wanted to find a blue ocean elsewhere and drive deep into the ocean and find these mermaids. So the first 3 years, we anticipate that the organization will mainly be volunteer run. We're well aware of it, unless there's a big surprise that we don't expect. Our organizational structure is similar to a matrix model, where there's a central board, which is comprised of almost like a think tank, new technology specialists, marketing, finance, politics, law, healthcare, film programming, wealth management, and so on, gender studies, and so on. And so the main task of the central board will be to actually find local boards in many different cities, in the smallest city in America, and hopefully globally elsewhere too. But that's the beginning. It's a big dream. So once the main board creates the local boards in local communities, a small city in America, for example, where they'll be in charge of finding 3 pillars for this. Pillar 1 would be to find wealthy individuals who would have to buy into the tank to enter the tank. And hopefully they'll bring in their people as well. So that's one. The second one is just riffing off of what Amanda said, is the educational aspect. That they would have to partner up with educational institutions. And if there is none, maybe create one locally. And hopefully through that, we can create another ecosystem within that where young talent are learning to make mini docs, and their heroes of their mini docs would be potentially investors as well. And so there's that value for investor to have their own stories, the heroic stories, if they're willing to, have that. But at the same time, it could create another potential for local news channels and local magazines and local outlets to be able to distribute those mini docs and create an ecosystem in itself. And then the third pillar would be essentially, I'm blanking out, but I'll try to say the third pillar would be the big one, the corporations, which is there are many cities in America that have ties with brands like Coca-Cola. It doesn't have to be Coca-Cola. That's just an example. It could be any brand that might have interest in funding a part of the tank so that this can continuously happen. And another thing that we discussed in our Mermaid tank is to have, where is the value? Where is the money made? Can we solve the distribution issues when technology is driving so much faster than artists, and where funders don't even understand what technology means, where politicians don't have access to technology even. So then we were thinking about where can be the value? How can people make money out of this? And we came up with maybe an original idea called the Mermaid coin. And the Mermaid coin's value rises by the mission of the film itself. And that is when we give power to the audience, which is a part of the equation that is less discussed. And so the audiences have actually a say in the making of it too, where there's a balance of art, commerce, and audience value too. And so so the mentorship program that we have through this would also help the filmmakers decide what portion of the film's financial pool would be dedicated to the Mermaid coin. And that just rises and lowers, and which would then have filmmakers be responsible to work harder or change mission or whatnot. It would be much more active. And so there's that part of it too. We would hope that the local boards, creating this local economy as well, would also have a mentorship program every quarter to make sure that the investor who's interested in the slate of the filmmaker to see how they're doing. And if the investor's not doing well, is not responsive, or the filmmaker is not doing well, they're fired. So, and that's the tank right there. For now, I'll pass the ball to my teammate, Nat, and thank you so much for your time.
All right, so that's Mermaid Tank. As it's a very amorphous idea right now and has the ability to evolve into a lot of different things, including, as you heard, a reality show, a film festival, a cryptocurrency. It's a very fluid idea, if you will. So that's Mermaid Tank. Thanks everybody for listening. Bye.